I'm Malcolm Van Delst, and this is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or extra long novel that opens with a woman trying to kill herself. She says, "I don't know why I tried to do this," and by way of explanation, tells her life story. We are about, 80 pages into book 3. Working title of book 3 is Shiny, Pretty, Gothic. Last week in Do the Wrong Thing, the first half of a short story, Ava, the protagonist, writes, responding to your edit suggestions, thank you. And this is a continuation of that short story. That first paragraph that's in italics, that's from last week. I'll just read it to sort of jog your memory. When we were driving to Ofton, the car broke down. All the men piled out and tried to fix it. I sat by the road with my arms around my 2 youngest brothers. I was glad to get out where I could breathe. I could see the castle in the distance, the forest, an apple orchard, a cornfield. The men were going back to Australia. My father wanted to go too. I'm glad they're going back, creepy, laughing men. They don't know children and what we need, as if it would be good to move us to a new country. We need roots and stability. I'm glad the car broke down. I hope they miss their boat. Daughter writes a story. "What are you doing, naughty girl?" The girl was reading. The old woman pulled the book from the girl's hands. "I thought I told you to massage me at 6 p.m. It's 6:05. The girl felt the old woman's breath on her face. The girl felt the fatty layers slipping and sliding between the leathery outer layer on the old woman's back and her bones. She could feel the protein chunks, which she pressed and kneaded until they dissolved. The old woman cackled and breathed heavily, mouth open on the pillow. "Tomorrow, I will clean my teeth," she thought. They were stale and bitter this morning. Mother. The children, 3 boys and 2 girls, play outside with Tonka toys and plastic shovels. The oldest boy dumped sand on the youngest girl's head. "You stop that," I screamed. "Leave that poor girl alone." The children look up in surprise. The oldest boy hurls a tractor at my window, then all the children laugh and go back to their game. I walk to my bed with the red and white quilt that my youngest daughter gave me. I begin to pick it apart, pulling threads with my teeth. I don't know why. It's a compulsion. "Now, Mrs. Kessler, that's enough," says the nurse when she walks by and sees me. "Are you having a rough day?" I stare at her. "Mrs. Kessler? Is she talking to me?" "Here, come with me." In the medicine room, the nurse gives me Nebinol, a small dose, she says, in a glass of water. "Let's put you in the sun." "Are you going to be okay?" she asks as she settles me in a chair. "Mrs. Kessler, Mrs. Kessler, Mrs. Who is Mrs. Kessler?" I think, staring at this chirpy stranger. "Good," she says and walks away. Who are all these people sleeping in the sun? I think, struggling to stay awake. And who is? I wake up, drool running down my chin, mouth open. Daughter writes another story. Once upon a time, a girl lay on her bed writing because she was sick of reading. In her tale, a tall, dark man appeared and said, "Come with me, Ava." The girl dropped her pen and followed. The man and Ava journeyed 6 days and 6 nights through a hazy tunnel. At the end, they saw a castle with stained glass windows. Inside, happy, smiling, miniature men wearing black robes with rope belts spoke in a language that the girl had never heard before, yet understood better than her own. She thanked the tall stranger for bringing her there, and he disappeared. Secretly, she was afraid of him, but she didn't want him to know that. Eventually, she got lonely and went looking for him anyway. She found him in a garden talking to animals and writing intently. She asked if she could read what he was writing. It was her own story, her own life. I don't want a past. Mother. No flowers. At home, there were lots of flowers. Goddamn kids always bringing me flowers. Weeds, I should say. Buttercups and stuff. Greasy hands, crushed stems, sticking them in water. Kids so happy, thinking I liked those weeds. Talk, talk, talk. Here, have a popsicle. Go outside. How could they be so stupid? Kids are such stupid creatures. Sometimes I was faking. I could have been happy, but God wouldn't let me. Always making sure I suffered, me, more than anyone else, as if I hadn't suffered enough. Daughter. Why me? I hurt today. My stomach hurts, as if I'm pulling something up from down there, something painful, something I'd rather not see. Loneliness? Is that it? Because I write to relieve loneliness? Do I? I don't think so. I don't want a past. 3 birds. 3 birds fly in a convoluted sky. Each direction they go in takes them back to the center. "Squawk, how do we get out?" says the first. Sheep, I wish I knew, says the second. Third sighs and prays. They try again and again and again. The third takes out a Bible, looking for an answer there. The second tries to sing. The first, disgusted, flies to a corner by himself. He thinks or sits. In the morning, they try again. The farm. Horace and Maud sit on a porch overlooking their crops. They've got 10 acres of corn, 10 dairy cows, and 3 kids. How much you think the young'un will bring when he's 3, Maud? Oh, I don't know, maybe $200, $250. Yep, he's a Breton, all right, plump too. If we can't sell him for brains, we'll sell him for meat. Yep, he's worthy. Bring us a good name to the farm. Come here, little feller, want a candy? Look how he goes for it. What a spunky kid. Yep, he's a prize. What do you think the girl will bring? The girl? That scrawny thing? Not much. She's just skin and bones, no brain as far as I can tell. What do you think? I'm intending to agree with you, Maud. Tain't a shame. Do you think we could just keep her here on the farm? I'm kind of partial to her. Huh. I know what you're thinking, you pig, but that puts me in mind of a good idea. We could rent her to Delsey's, say in 5 years when she'll be 10. Rocks a bit. Yep. She'd bring a fair price then. Men around here like some young, Delsey says. And you can always go see her there if you gotta see her. Oh, Maud, but I always wanted one for myself. Nope, sorry, she'll have to go. What about the middling one? Think it's time to sell him yet? I don't know, Maud. Could be. 3 women. At the crossroads, there's a sign. It reads left to Pentuck, right to Amerton, straight to Beaconstown and back to Aylmer. It has arrows pointing in the directions referred to. 3 women stand under the sign and argue. They're confused and upset by its instructions. A woman approaches from Aylmer. She glances at the sign and continues on her way. Stop, cries the woman from Beaconstown. Can you please help us? We can't understand the sign and can't agree on which town is back. You don't need to know which town is back. Just look at the arrows. Ignore those silly instructions. Oh, says the woman, thank you. No problem, says the Aylmer woman. Maybe we should fix this sign. Good idea, says the Pentuck woman, and the 4 of them erase the written instructions, leaving only the arrows with the names of the towns.